Hey YouTube, we're back for the second session of the day, the review session. Let's get started. It's the first trade of the day. So that was the first bar I saw right there. This tail bar, right? Boom. Off positive position. If you calculate, that's a 25-cent bar, which means I could put like 4 lots on that. But it filled me at 83, and then I started getting a bit freaked out. I got filled up here. So then I decided to only put 1 lot. I didn't put the rest of the lots on. But really I could have put 3 to 4 lots. 3 is realistic. It popped up from 83, gave me about 40 cents. I believe 93.03. Yeah, about 40 cents. Not really enough to take profit, I don't think. Unless you split this, unless you count this as 2 pushes. 1, 2, 3. I guess almost 3 pushes. But anyways, position was basically +1. I'm entering that tail bar on confirmation, obviously. That's why I got filled up here. Should have been a 3-lotter, but slippage and everything, so I decided I'm gonna just go lighter, and I went like super light. Hold up. When did this trade stop out? This box. Looks like I added. Hold up. Let me reset this. So boom, event stop. And then what? Pretty sure I add here because you get the pullback to the 20. Let me make sure, 1002. 1002 indeed. Boom, trigger over the top. I added 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold up. That's a different trade. That's a whole different trade. So this one I stop out at 958. 958. Which I believe is this bar. I think it's because I was trailing underneath this right here. Yeah. I trailed underneath this. I basically put my stop at break even. Basically. That's what I did. And it trailed out. Right there. Yeah. This was a +$4 trade. Risk. Pretty undersized, so like it wasn't like I was violating anything. Position +1 above that 200, and the tail bar on confirmation. So that was the first trade. I remember the trade being up like 40 bucks or something, which if I positioned it right should have been up like 100 something. Probably could have tried to lock in something at least, but it wasn't a bad trade. Everything about it is pretty valid, except maybe the TP. valid trade. Didn't even get the 50-cent TP rule, but I could slide by with a 3 push rule if I split the big bar up. Didn't take profit, but trail to break even. Pretty much out on the break of the 8. Maybe a bit later than the break of the 8, but I think the reason why I moved it here was because the 8 MA triggered here. Yeah, I thought it could potentially go up, so I moved it under here. Just didn't get much follow through after all. Yeah. First of all, slippage, so I was in late. So can I really count it as 3 pushes when I got in from here? 1, 2, 3. That's being pretty tight, and I normally like to be pretty loose with my profit taking. That's why I think I end up giving up so much. But maybe if I got in right there, maybe we could say 3. But we got in late. Debatable. At least I didn't lose money. And this never triggered off the 8. This triggered off the 20, which was another trade I took. Let's just go over that. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 10-cent bar. 9 cent. I was probably trading something else. That's probably why I couldn't put on the full size, but put on 4 lots at 94 with the event stop at 82. So I was risking about half an hour on this trade. So I triggered in over the top. Boom, 4 lots. You could tell no follow through and instantly taken out. Yeah. Name, pullback color change. Position, rising 20. Risk was good. This one lost minus 48 bucks. I don't see anything that went too wrong. The pullback from the gap, boom, 50%. It was above with the 20. Just no follow through, it seems. Oh shoot. Let me see. Yeah, just didn't get follow through. Boom. It was a valid trade though. Good trade that didn't make money. Boom. Tried the long again after it pulled back at the rising 20. It gave me a color change and triggered in over the high. Absolutely no follow through and wiped out pretty much right away. That's just how it goes sometimes. I don't know what else to say. Alright, let's talk about our trade on Baba. We had 2 trades on Baba today. So, off the bat, position is looking like this. Now this red bar should normally follow through. Like, this is an excellent bar. In fact, you might this is a tail bar plus, because the way it forms was it was a green bar up into the 200, a red bar that takes out the color, and it actually put in more of its color. So this would have been a short actually, with the stop here. And then the next bar violently gets wiped out by green. So I'm thinking, oh, this has igniting momentum. I wait for it to pull back and bounce off the 200, which is what it looked like it was going to do. So I entered right on this color change at the body, 9014, around 9014. So that's maybe here, 2 lots with the stop here. And it just didn't follow through. It pulled back pretty nicely too, nothing too violent, because this bar is so big. Split that in half. Happens to be around where the 200 is sitting as well, maybe a bit lower, but my entry is above the 50%. In an ideal world, this thing would have popped up, but it didn't, so that's why we have to stop, and we were able to get out for a small loss. So basically color change, pullback color change, basically position off the 200, surging off the 200, risk good, minus 68 bucks. Boom, boom. Trade wasn't bad. It was, I think my explanation, my reason why was pretty good. Like this tail bar, first of all, should have been a short. A short that got no follow through, immediately wiped out with violence. Should have actually went long. Okay. Missed the long on the pullback off the 200, it bounced. So I was trying to go short on that. I mean a long. That's what I did. Violent elephant bar showing bullish momentum. Was waiting for it to come back to the 200 and bounce. Insert off the color change there, and that's what I got. I triggered in, got no follow through. And stopped out on the next bar. That's just how it goes. Now we got Disney. I was just trying to go long on Disney today. Thing was a beauty. But it didn't work out too well for me, to be honest. So this is the position off the bat. +1, nice. Green bars, that's what I like to see. But I didn't enter yet. I wanted to wait for the pullback. After this, I'm pretty sure I trigger off the 8. Boom, over the top. I was thinking to myself, if this triggers, I'll take it. Triggers beautifully. I took it. I think I added on this color change actually, but this bar was less than a 20-cent bar. I put 5 lots on it. At enter at 82.03. Stop was below. I think I added 2 here on the color change, and it just didn't go. Boom. Boom, 2. Oh no, 5. 5, my bad. 5. Event. Added 2 here, I believe. And then my average price was 82.06. So my max loss was at 81.92. So I moved my stop up like a tiny bit right here on all lots when I added. And that's where I stopped out. But in my head, I was thinking, since I was using the 8, I probably should have gotten out on the break of the 8, which occurred here. So if I got out at the whole number 82 below this, then I would have locked in about 8 more cents on 7 lots, basically reducing the risk in half. But that's like being nitpicky. What could I improve, you know? So name, pull back color change off the rising 8. Rising 8. This is like just barely above 2. Like this is +1 position basically. Risk was good. With slippage and everything, a bit over 108. So that was that trade. Boom. So I know what the issue was with these trades, why it struggled so hard, which is what I'm going to talk about next. Could have bailed on this trade earlier, since I was going off a setup triggering. Since I was going off a setup triggering off the 8 MA, I should have expected the 20, the 8 to hold the next time around as well. With this in mind, I could have bailed on the trade and locked in a stop around the whole number at 88 or 82. Would have saved 8 cents on 7 lots. Yeah, 8 cents on 7 lots. Which would have cut my loss in half. So that's how I could have improved this trade. The next trade was Disney as well. You see right here, triggers the color change. Maybe not quite, because let me see. Over the high is 05. I got in at 04. 03 or something. So I went off just the color, not quite the top, not over the high, and that's what failed me. So here I went 5, and my stop was here. Instantly stopped out. Pull back, color change, position, rising 20. Again, it's that +1 risk was good. Minus 74 bucks. Thing with this one was that it might have been a too early of an entry, but whatever. The bigger issue was not really the entry, but the obstacles that were in the way on the trade. I'll show you what that is. Because sometimes I do enter on just the body, so like it just happened in this trade, it didn't go. Why didn't it go though? That's a question. Entered, didn't quite wait for the high, didn't quite wait for 1 cent over the high to trigger in the trade. I got in right when green took out the body. In hindsight, the entry seems a bit early and never actually triggered, but I do enter like this on multiple other occasions. This trade was just a bit unlucky to not follow through. But to dig deeper, why didn't it go? What were the obstructions? And great question, because the 2 minute looked clear to go. 5 minute looked clear to go. Daily had some space to go to work between these MAs. The 8 and the 20 had some space. It was enough to make money. And on the 1 hour, definitely had space. Look at this. Downtrend, uptrend, base, gap up. It was nice. But on the 15, that's where it struggled. Can y'all see it? Banging its head right into this overhead 15-minute 200, rejecting, coming back down, holding that 8 and popping up. Yeah, that was the issue right there. So I kept trying to go long into that 200. Answer. I kept trying to go long into the 15-minute 200. Just kept struggling. Resistance. Now look what it did, how it set up on the 5, bro. That thing was beautiful. So you got the Fab 4 here. You got a couple higher low, or lower high candles. Boom. This one's a lower high. This one's a lower high. This one's a lower high. And it sets in this beautiful small bar. Typically, I don't think this is typical of Disney to go like that, but this thing is beautiful. Look at the location. +1 on top of the Fab 4. You got the 20 MA right here, rising. Entry should have been here. This bar, I believe, was a 20 cent, 25 cent bar, so 4 lots here. This thing popped up. Your entries are at 81.82. You got 82.82 here, 83.82 here. About $2 on 4 lots. Like, damn. That is money making opportunities. Not to mention this color change here. To add, on the 2 minute it did get a bit messy. Like, what is this? But on the 5, it's visually so nice. And yeah, I think I did wait for this to finally ignite and then pull back. None of these triggered, so I didn't take them. This one, that triggered. That could have been money making opportunities. But let's see. Entries here at 81.81. 80, stop at 80, 60-ish. 25 cents, let's say. Why is the risk to reward profile on this okay? Because into the 200, let's say here, 82.20. Normally when you trade into resistance, you want at least 2 to 1. 2 to 1 from here is like 40 to 50-ish cents. So you enter at 81.80 or 81.82 plus 50 cents. That's 82.32 or 40 to 50-ish cents. So this 200 is sitting at 82.20. That's like a perfect trade to take, because your entries are probably where? Down here, right here, stop here. By the time it gets here, you're already moving your stop to break even in case it does something like this. Bonk. Then you're chilling with a free trade. But in case it does something like this, where it ignites up, the risk to reward is like unmatched. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what I missed out on. So I did keep trying to go long, but the risk to reward profile on these wasn't as clean. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't as clean. This one got a deeper pullback, set up right on a 5-minute 20. Had like almost 2 to 1, good enough. Here, by the time it got to the 200, you already got a free trade. And then this bar just went up. You're adding here. Yeah, you're taking profits out here, bro. Bar by bar by bar by bar by bar and out. Basically out at the top. Beautiful. But did miss that, but it's good to review so I could catch some of that stuff in the future. So that's how we could have played the 5. Yeah, I came back and I was like, that thing just went. So AMD, I traded at 10:06. Oh yeah, in my live trading video, thing went nuts. This off the morning was so crazy. You should, like, damn son. So honestly, the way that this originated off that 200, off this 200, and basically off this 200, I should have just tried one lot, to be honest, because stop would have had to be at 107.50 too. My entry should have been, I could have gotten in one lot at least at 106.50. Yeah, pretty much at the bottom of the candle. I could have gotten at least one, yeah, but I thought it was too big. That's why I didn't take it. But I could have put one on that, like that, and this went like 3 to 1, 3 to 1 on a fat bar. That thing dropped $3 ish. Let's see. You got 0650, 0550, 0450, 0350. Yeah, a bit over $3 actually. So that was crazy. But yeah, I didn't commit to that, so I missed out on that big move. Then, while this popped up, I told myself, this is beautiful to look for a pullback color change. That's what we got. Boom. Where does it trigger? Below 50%. Below a third even. But I was trading all the other stocks. So during this time I also missed this trade. But it triggers here. Boom. Beautiful. I believe it gets the new low. Let's check. There it goes. We're sitting around the new low. Okay. So now let's talk about my trade. So yeah, I missed this pullback, which on the 5-minute was a pullback to the 8. But what did I see? The next bar, you get a solid bar. The next bar is a tiny green bar. So I enter right there on the GBI, green bar ignored. 8 at the low right here with 3 lots. 3 lots with the event stop. No, 2 lots actually. I was going half risk units here because I was down 250 or something like that. Like pretty much near $300 loss. And I've been thinking like, should I go all the way to the $400 loss or should I just keep it 300? And I recently I've been leaning towards the 300 because I could recover that better than the 400. And a loss of 300 already means I like probably lost 3 trades in a row, which is probably should like take a break for the day, you know, no luck for the day. But this is the trade, solid bar, boom. Here I probably could have even got away with a stop here, but I went over the top. So name, GBI, position, like off the rising 8, below the declining 8. I mean these ones, the important thing about them is they have to be in a solid bar, within a solid bar. This one was a solid bar. Risk was good. Barely got the new low here. And I believe what I do is move my stop down, which may have been a bit too early because I did get the new low here, technically. But I'm pretty sure I trailed the 8 maybe. I gotta check. Do I get out on this bar? 1024? 1022? Yeah. Yeah. I get out at 103.58. Move stop to 103.58. Boom. 2-minute 8 break is what I get out on. Yeah. So I move my stop down there. Right here. And I stop out. which is where 103.58. About here, I stop out before it goes a bit lower. But oh well. Pretty sure I moved my stop to break even first, but locked in like 60 bucks on that. It did manage to drop to, what was this? The low was the whole number at 103. That's nice. 103. My entries were at 103.88. Could have had 80 cents on that, I guess. 160 bucks. Missed out on a bit. It's okay though. It wasn't bad. You know, the trade wasn't bad. Because basically I saw it basically kind of respecting the 8. Here, here, and then also that failure to like make that new low. It took a while. Here, then it just kind of like struggled. It actually popped back up. But I guess I could have done a bit better. Let's see what we could say about this. Decent entry. Already put in a fat move at the open. Try playing for some more momentum. Didn't get much. At the old low, it kind of stalled out. Like a good. This is like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 5-minute candle bars. 5-minute bars, which is almost half an hour. So I went to the 2-minute and got out on the break of the 8. It did go just a bit lower after I trailed out. But oh well. Let's see where it actually went. Boom. Did it go further? I mean, by this point, I would have, if I didn't take profits here at 103, I would have moved my stop to pivot and I would have gotten out here, which is worse than here. And or I would have gotten out on the break of the 20, which occurs here. And let's see, does it go lower? Not really. Yeah, no, it never gets past 103 ever again. I don't think. Yeah, no. After price corrected itself, got rest, it actually popped up in the afternoon session, so that was nice. Alright, let's talk about the last trade. Baba. This one was beautiful. Beautiful tiny bar. both on the 5 and the 2. It was just magnificent. I'm kind of lucky. So, this is the trade. Boom. Waiting for the pullback. Didn't quite get the add here, so I'm waiting for it to dip again. What it does instead is drift sideways. Now I get these tight little bars. What do those tight little bars mean? It means heavy lots. I put 10 lots on this because it's like a 10-cent bar with a very tight stop right here, event stop. Now, these type of trades, I don't know if they work instantly, because if not, it would have popped up and took me out. But as you can see, the very next bar is a big bar. So what am I doing? I'm already moving my stop above that big bar. So here, basically break even, call it big bar, whatever you want to call it. And now I'm just looking at the other time frames to see, oh, where can this drop to? And well, in my head or on the chart, I had this going to 87. It didn't quite get there, but that's why I was sitting there trading to take profits. But this thing's beautiful, right? Now, I didn't take profits until, I think, let me see, 10:35, which I'm out. I think I take some out on the break of the, or why do I take profits exactly? Let me see. 2 lots at 50 cents, okay? At 10:35. I take some off at 88.45. That's pretty good, actually. Took 2 off here. Because I just thought this had so much more potential to drop. 15 had room to drop. After this. Yeah, every time frame was just aligned, so I was gonna let this thing run. Next thing you know, this thing pulls up into that 20, the sweet spot. And look at the 5, man. This thing is so beautiful, bro. Big old bar. You get some higher low bars, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then boom, triggers. There's my ad. Off this 8, off this 20. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, I can mark it up on both charts. Here, 10, 2 off, somewhere like here, 2 off, add here, add the 2 back on, and I believe I moved my stop to I say 88.77. I think it's half of this bar. Yeah. So just slightly a bit above this event stop. Half of this bar right here. So I'll move all my stops here. Let's just call it event. But what I did was split this bar in half right here. Basically. Lock that in on all 10 lots. Beautiful. Add here. 77. Basically locked in this. Oh yeah, because in my mind as well, got the new low on the 2 minute. I shouldn't be giving this up. And got this fat bar. This thing should not be able to retrace that much, you know? So I lock in half of it. half a big bar basically. 50% big bar. Then this thing drops, and I bar by bar, or I take 2 off again at 88.56 at 10.59. A bit early, I guess. 88.56. This one was a bit early. Dang, this one was really early. I took 2 off that quick. Oh wait, no, that that was my sell short, bro. I'm tripping. 10.59. I take 2 off at 88.35. Okay, yeah. I was tripping. If I really took 2 off there, I'm tripping. Need at least a new low. Which I get here. And I take 2 off at 88.35. Valid. Another 2 off. That's valid. So now I have 8 lots. Then I remember trailing bar by bar. This is enough to take me out of 4 lots. So I now have 4 left. And let's see what I do with the rest. I'm pretty sure I lock in the whole number. I had some take profits at 88. So 2 off there. Got the whole number. Now I have 2 left. Trailing big bar and MA. And what I did was, if you look at these bars, they're tiny. And like somehow the last bar in the trend happens to be the biggest bar. Like, that's exhausting. So I split this bar in half. And when do I get out? At 88.11.16. This one? Yeah. This one gets out. Another one at 88. And then 1 left on top of the big bar at 88.21. Everything's out. I believe it was this bar. Out. 11.26. Yeah. And that's the trade. This was an 8-hour trade. 837. Nice and fat. Yeah. So new low, profit take. Add new low, profit take. Kind of trailed out bar by bar a bit prematurely. But boom. Yeah. If I was gonna bar by bar, I probably should have bar by bar here. If anything, like if I was bar by barring there, then I get the biggest bar of the move. Doesn't it make sense to start bar by barring here? Because now this is the widest part. Yeah. I could have locked in those last 2 lots better. Bar by bar here. Would have locked in maybe 20 more cents on this. 60 more bucks, maybe. But not complaining. Alright. Let's take a screen grab of that. Boom. Pop, pop, pop. Let's get a picture of that 5-minute too, because that is the most beautiful 5-minute I've ever seen in my life. to be honest. Like, I've never seen something textbook like this before. Thing is just textbook. Got in on an acorn, so I was able to go heavy. And typically these narrow range bar triggers will let me know if the trade works instantly or not. In this case, it went my way, and I milked it. Only thing I can say is if I bar by bar before the exhausting bar, why didn't I bar by bar after? It makes sense to start bar by barring. Makes sense to use bar by bar the further away the price gets from the 20. Could have locked a bit more in there instead of big bar at the end. That's all I have to say about that. What do I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bars, and then you get the biggest bar. If I already chose to go bar by bar here and get wicked out, but then all of a sudden I get the biggest bar of the move, bringing price super far away from the 20. Like here was price in the 20 here, but look at the 20 and price now. This one's further. So if I enforced bar by bar here, where's the logic? I should have enforced it here too. And at least I locked in half of this, because I did learn that from my mentor. Otherwise, if I let both lots go back, I would have missed out on even more. But next time, if the biggest bar happens to be at the end of the move, bar by bar. Here, lock in half. If this one closes small, you're going over the top of that thing, maximizing it. In fact, this low-key was good to reverse on, because you get a 1, 2, 3. You get 3 moves already. You get the exhausting bar pushing far away. You get the narrow bar, and you have like 2, 3 to 1 into the 20. So by the time it gets back to the 20, you already have a free trade. Pretty sure this popped up. Exactly, it popped up, and that would have been you would have been trading that thing all the way back to the 20. So this actually would have been a good reversal here. However many lots, 5 lots or something, into the 20. You're moving break even. Thing gets above the 20, trail under the 20. Now you're just trailing. This probably got on the 8. Maybe you got out here, but if you're sitting back and relaxing, letting this hands off, this thing got all the way back to the 200. So that's another. If you were able to catch that, trigger in at 87.77 or 87.82. Here's 88.82. Wait, 87.82, 88.82. Okay, a bit less than $1, or a bit less than $2, but you get the point. This is also a small, very small bar you would have been able to put on 9 lots, on that thing. 9 lots going back the other way, $1 and more to 200. Practically risk-free once I already got here. That's a no-brainer. $9 over $1. That's $900. $1,000. That's another grand that I could have stacked on top of today. But I didn't have that much finesse. But that was a good stop and reverse. Maybe that's how I should think of it. Think of where would people be trying to take that counter trend trade after a mature trend. 1, 2, 3 legs down already. After an exhausting bar. After it puts in a narrow bar. This is how the best of both worlds. You're going short, you bar by bar, you're out of everything here. Everything. But then you stop and reverse. 9 lots, 10 lots, whatever it is with a stop here. Pops up 1 to 1, you move your stop to break even. Pops up 2 to 1. You're getting ready in case this thing rejects down heavy and I don't know. Peculiarly triggers another leg down, but that's fine because you're already locked in break even, maybe even 1 to 1 if you want to be super tight with it. In this case, it just grinds up, and yeah. So that's how. This is the intuition that I built just by looking at the charts and seeing what I could improve on every day, you know. Next time I actually could capitalize on these and take them. So mature trend, exhausting bar, here's your trigger bar, the narrow bar over the top, which allows you to put on heavy sides again. You get your ad, boom, 1 to 1, break even. Give it some space. If you want to be tight, lock in 1 to 1. You get stopped out, you make $100. But if you want to give it space to do its thing, well, look what it did. Popped up above 20. That's probably when I would have started moving my stop. Boom. And this thing just grinded back up to the 200 beautifully. Yeah. Take your profits and you're probably out on the break of the 20, which occurs here. And that's a beautiful trade both ways. Boom, boom. I think you would have actually made more going up, because here you make this, but here you make this. Plus, it had less pullbacks, which means you want to get scared out or faked out. Like it was just grinding up. So that's how I could have added another K to today. But at least I added knowledge, you know. It might not be a K, but I added knowledge. Next time I know. We building finesse, boys. Yeah. Alright, gang. See you back at it again tomorrow, doing the same good stuff. Thank you. Peace.